Interface Video Productions is proud to present Coach's Corner. And now, here's Coach Jack Greathouse with Andy Rice.
Hello everyone and welcome to Coach's Corner. With me is Coach Jack Greathouse, and it's the final week of the regular season. You got the Newark Wildcats. It's going to be a big one. That's a great way to get ready for the tournament.
Well, that's right. You know, Andy, we thought going into our last three games on the road, playing at Pickerington, playing at Dayton Meadowdale, and then playing at Newark is really a tough chore and a tough challenge, all three games. And we felt like it would really, if nothing else, get us prepared for that tough on-the-road tournament-type, games and atmosphere. And I look for the Newark game to be just that, a very, very tough game.
All right, well, we're going to find out the particulars of this ball game, but first we're going to take this time out.
Hi, I'm Fairfield County Commissioner Lisa Kessler, here with Liberty Union students to remind you how important it is to preserve and protect our natural resources. We need to use products made from recycled materials at home and at work, or at school, like these students have. This was made from recycled milk jugs, which will not only last a lifetime, but will help save on valuable landfill space for our future. The Fairfield County Commissioners and Community Action, we're partners in recycling.
The community bank may be the new bank in town, but we aren't new to banking. Established in 1945 in Athens County, the community bank has relocated its main office and opened a full-service branch in Lancaster. For more than 20 years, Tom Buck has helped area residents and businesses with financial needs. Jason Harrell and Ida Neely also have local banking experience. They're anxious to introduce you to some of the best customer service and interest rates in town. We've earned your confidence and appreciate your trust. Come grow with us.
Back with Coach Jack Greathouse. I'm Andy Rice, and Coach, we've talked a little bit during the break there, the fact that, boy, it's been a roller coaster ride for the old Gale Force here the past couple weeks. Down one game, right back up the next game. That's got to be, I know, a little frustrating for you as a coach, but you kind of tell me that you think it's a little bit more on the parity between teams.
Well, I think so, and I think if you look at our schedule, Andy, we don't have any built-in wins. There's a few teams you look at early that we felt like we were just better than, but the last half of the season, I don't think that we've played that poorly, with the exception of the Westerville South, the fourth quarter. I thought that game we just really were not tuned in very well. But other than that, I think we've really done pretty well. Westerville North, we lose the game, but, that's a team that has as much talent as anybody in the state. That's a team that you can look at and say, well, they're capable if they play well, and they did. And but still, we had three opportunities, down one, 3 shots, and it didn't go in. You look at what's happened. Thomas Worthington loses to Hilliard Darby. Hilliard Darby loses then the next game to 4-15 Olentangy. It's crazy, but thankfully, and for us, 13 of the 19 games have been on the upside for us, and we feel good about that. We feel good about where we're at. It's just that we realize, and I've always told our kids, anybody we play can beat you. Anybody we play, we can beat. And I think we've proven that this year.
I think one of the nice things about the Gale Force team, as we've watched them throughout the season, is that you don't have one player that has stood out every ball. It seems like you have a new player each week, or a different player each week or each game stepping up and doing something.
Well, we do, and even though people think that's just by design, when we had Ben Freer and he averaged 20-some a game, and the next guy averaged 11, that was just the way our team was. But it is nice to have that, use the word parity again, among the scoring, well balanced. But we have some kids that I think are capable on any night, and it has a lot to do with how they're being played too. Newark's going to come in, they're going to go a little box and one, diamond and one at times on Brad Beatty to try to cool him, keep him quiet and out of the scoring column. And
right.
And other teams have done triangle and two, which they could try along with their packed in zone. So you've got all kinds of things, depending upon what night they scout you and what they think they have to do to stop you. And to be honest with you, I feel like we have a lot of weapons, and we've played a lot of people this year. We've been very deep. I feel like all of our 13 kids at dress varsity, I feel very comfortable with. We could send right into the game, and they can do a good job.
It seems, we talked earlier in the season, the fact that the two Lancaster teams basically going with a youth movement. The Gale Force, obviously, with some young players in there. Fisher Catholic starting 3 sophomores and 2 juniors now. As you head into the tournament time, do you feel confident now that those younger players are geared up enough that they can handle the tournaments?
Well, I think so, because with our youth, we also have some experience in Phil McKnight and Brad Beatty. It seems like Brad's played for 12 years now, which is a real credit to him, because he saw some action as a freshman, which is very unusual. And but I just think that our kids, they know what's up next week. Columbus West, 15-4, City League champs. It's not going to be easy, but you know what? Our kids, I think, are primed. I think we can beat anybody. I mean, I truly believe we can beat anybody we play. And there's been years where you have to say, well, we would have to really have a great game to beat. We have to have great games. I think we've got to be consistent, and that's the thing that we haven't had. Yet I talk to other coaches, everybody around the league, around the state. We're not consistent. We're not consistent. We're not either. And that's just one of those things. And we don't have a schedule that allots us to go out. I mean, in Westerville South, if they're one of the weakest teams on our schedule, I mean, that's a tough schedule. So, it's just one of those things. But I'm very, very happy with the way our kids have practiced, with the way they've prepared, and the way they've played for the most part this season. There's always a few games you'd like to bring back. One was that Newark game 5 weeks ago. That was one, and the other one was the Gahanna game that we felt like double overtime loss. We had some kids sick and hurt, but you can't make excuses. You have to go on, and I don't like excuses. That's something. Hey, you play with who you have, and if you're not healthy, that's part of it. I'm sure you're going to meet teams that at times they're not going to be healthy, so it all balances out.
All right. Well, we're going to see if the Gales can avenge that earlier loss to Newark. That game against the Wildcats is coming up next.
The Interphase Video Productions Basketball Game of the Week is brought to you by Tiberio's Ristorante, The World Gym, Heston's Auto Service and Used Cars, The Community Bank, Advest, the Notestone CPA firm, and Tiki Lanes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Newark High School, home of the Wildcats. Andy Rice and Paul Jasson here with you with the help of our friends here at Adelphia Cable in Newark, as we bring you tonight's game between the Newark Wildcats and the Lancaster Golden Gales. Paul, the last regular season game tonight as both teams get geared up for tournament action. Obviously, that's the second season, as Coach Greathouse mentioned in our pregame show. But you've got a game tonight. We saw it earlier at Lancaster, where when these two teams get together, I don't care what the records are. One team could be perfect. The other team could have no wins at all. You throw all that out, because this is what high school basketball is all about.
Well, this is the team up north for Lancaster. And as you indicated, the first game, Newark won that 42-40, and actually a game I think Lancaster was outplayed from beginning to end. Lancaster rarely led in the game. Newark took control of it, and at the end they made all the right moves and did everything that was needed to come away with a win. Now, as you indicated, the second season's around the corner. We got tournament time, and it's time to get this ship righted. Lancaster has been an up-and-down season since the first Newark game, and we'll see if this is the time they can turn it around.
Well, it is senior night here tonight for the Newark Wildcats, so while they have our senior festivities, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with tonight's starting lineups right after we take this timeout.
Let's take a moment to find out why Tiberio's Ristorante is Lancaster's favorite downtown stop. Tiberio's Ristorante in the heart of downtown Lancaster.
Satisfied customers have been relying on Heston's Auto Service and used cars since 1943. Come on by and meet Jim and Shirley Heston and find the highest quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and vans.
And don't forget the other side of Heston's, quality auto care. During these winter months, allow Heston's to keep your car on the road. That's Heston's Auto Service and Used Cars, 603 Lincoln Avenue, Lancaster.
Is this you? Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired?
World Gym, to the rescue!
Come to the World Gym and let their professionally trained staff help you reach your fitness goals.
Come see us at World Gym, if you're serious.
The community bank is now open and ready to welcome you to Lancaster's newest bank.
Stop in, see some old friends, and meet some new ones. All of us at the community bank are anxious to introduce you to our financial services. We offer a wide range of money-saving products, personal service, and some of the best loan and deposit rates in town.
Our main office is located in downtown Lancaster, or stop by our East Main Street office for added convenience.
Just what Lancaster needs, another bank.
The community bank. Come grow with us.
Back at Newark High School, where they've had their senior night festivities here, and I'm Andy Rice along with Paul Jasson for our last regular season basketball game, and of course we'll be following the tournaments here from the Fairfield County team's aspect, as the Lancaster Golden Gales will play Columbus West at the large Cow Palace in Columbus, and that'll be next Friday night. We'll have that for you right here on Channel 22. But first, we got to get through this game against the Newark Wildcats, and that is the game that Coach Greathouse and the rest of the Gales have been looking forward to since earlier in the season, when the Newark Wildcats came down to Lancaster and beat them 42-40. Let's go over the starting lineups for you. First, for the homestanding Newark Wildcats, they'll be coached, of course, by Jeff Quackenbush. They'll run out Mike Black. He'll be at one of the guards, number 3. Anthony Ash wears number 10. Chase Williams stands in the post, number 22. Centrell Turner is number 20, and Jared Wachter is number 55. That's the starting 5 for the Newark Wildcats. For the Lancaster Golden Gales, they'll run out Brad Beatty at the point. Josh Laver runs at another guard spot. Chad McKnight runs in the post for the Golden Gales. His brother Phil McKnight, the senior, plays out on a wing, as does Matt Alvis. And that is tonight's starting lineups. And of course, our opening tip-off that we'll have momentarily, brought to you by the Notestone CPA firm. Call Damon Notestone right now. I tell you what, Paul, very busy man this time of year is Damon Notestone.
He probably had to take time off to come to the game tonight. I see him up there. And of course, as we like to say, he is on the World Wide Web.
That's right.
He has gone global.
He has gone global. www.notestonecpa, that's all one word.com. All right, so give Damon Notestone a call, and we thank him for sponsoring our opening tip-offs throughout the season. Well, Paul, you can kind of cut the tension with a knife in here. We happen to be sitting right between the Newark student section and the Lancaster student section.
Well, they've got their version of Jack's Pack up here and the band and everything going on. So I hope they can hear us at home, because it's a loud place. It's pretty near a capacity crowd tonight, and it's just going to be a good one.
Not only that, it's Toga night.
Toga night. I saw that. I just thought maybe that was the dress at Newark.
No,
I wasn't aware.
It is, in fact, Toga night tonight. Once again, we'd like to thank our friends at Adelphia Cable in Newark for providing our video feed for tonight's ball game, and they've been helpful in the past with the homestanding football games and the basketball games in the past, and we certainly thank them, because this is I would imagine back in its heyday, this was a big gymnasium, but anymore it's kind of tight quarters in here, not only for the fans, but for any type of media that comes in and tries to get it done. So as you can see, the off-center shot there from that top camera is because it's in a loft that stands about 30 feet above the floor. So Mike Black and Chad McKnight stand at the center circle, ready to tip off tonight's ball game. The Gales in their navy blues, the Newark Wildcats in their whites. And the opening tip controlled by McKnight, back to Beatty, and he hands it off to Josh Laver, and the Gales will start on offense. The Wildcats playing a bit of a, looks like a box and one type zone. They're really crashing down on Phil McKnight inside. Chad runs across the middle, takes the pass. Here's the shot by Laver. It's no good. Backside rebound by a Wachter, and then a foul. And they call the foul against Matt Alvis. Matt sporting a brand new blonde hairdo.
Nice do. Well, I don't think there'll be any surprises on Newark's offense. I think they're going to try to go to Mike Black, and they'll go to him until the Gales can't shut him down. The first time around, he had 18 against Lancaster, and he was a pivotal guy. So we'll see how it shakes down this time.
Nice backdoor pass, and it's blocked by Chad McKnight. Down to Beatty on the fast break for the Gales. Beatty stops, then spins back out. Ball knocked away, and it goes off of Beatty out of bounds as it was Centrell Turner coming up to knock that one away. That's the first turnover for the Gales.
We'll see if they try to go back inside here against Lancaster's defense. We'll see what their game plan will be.
Anthony Ash is the Gales playing their standard man-to-man defense to start the ball game. Black doesn't want to look at the hoop right now, passes it off. They swing it around a couple of times. Williams to Black, back to Centrell Turner. Ash. He's the scorer. He's one of the scorers for the Wildcats, although the last time around thought he would. And a nice tip away that time by Phil McKnight, but the Wildcats are able to control it. They try to dish it down inside, and Chad McKnight again there to block that one away. The Wildcats keeping one down underneath their own hoop.
Twice now they've tried to look inside and go low post against the Gales. They batted it down.
And Chad McKnight again with the rejection, the rebound pulled down, and then the Wildcats get it back, and they get 3 attempts at the basket, can't get it down, but the Gales come away with another foul. That one goes against Chad McKnight, doing his best Johnson impression down inside there.
A couple blocks early for the big fella.
So quickly going to the line will be Mike Black. As Paul mentioned, he had 18 points in the first round down at Lancaster High School. First shot is up, and it's no good. What do they say, cellophane over the hoops at this point, Paul?
Well, that hardly got to the center of the rim there. That was a little masonry action going on there with that one.
As Bridget would say, hey, he laid a brick. Second shot pops in and out, no good. And Phil McKnight on the rebound has it knocked away by a Wachter, but it's picked up by Josh Laver. They feed it down inside to Phil McKnight. Nice spin move, and then he is fouled as he tries to spin towards the hoop. And Phil will go to the line to shoot 2 as that one goes against Centrell Turner, his first and the first team foul for the Wildcats.
First time around, it got to kind of a free throw shooting contest down toward the end. It was a close game, but like I say, I thought Newark outplayed Lancaster at home, and I'm sure Lancaster would like to do the same here tonight.
First shot is good, and hey, we're on the scoreboard. 1-0 Gales lead after 2 minutes go by in the first quarter. Second shot is in and out, no good. 1-0 Gales lead. I don't think anybody was expecting an 80-75 ball game, but it takes 2 minutes before either team gets on the scoreboard.
Congratulate John Kaufman and the reserves. They won 50-39 tonight to complete the sweep of the Newark reserve. So big old pat on the back for John, Dave Davis, and the reserve section of the Gales. Kyle
Greathouse playing another game or a great game in the reserve as We see a lob down into Black. It's no good, and that is a foul from the backside. I think it's going to go against Wachter as Chad McKnight had the position. And Wachter does pick up the foul, and that is going to be his first, team second.
A lot of action underneath there tonight. A lot of bodies flying hither and to.
Josh Laver feeds it over to Matt Alvis, to Beatty on the point. The Gales trying to keep that zone moving. Alvis thought about it. Dishes over to Laver now to Chad McKnight, no good, and then the ball is going to go off of the Wildcats, and the Gales will keep it.
Yeah, I think Ash touched it last, so Brad will quarterback the throw in down there.
Josh Laver gives it to Beatty. Beatty shot in and out, no good, and
wow.
Williams high for that rebound.
That ball was in and out, you're right.
On the drive, then almost throws it right by Black. Good hands by Black. Dishes down inside to Wachter. Forces up a shot, no good. Williams on the rebound. That one rolls around, but it goes in. That's the first bucket of the ball game. 2-1 in favor of the Wildcats.
Williams already has 3 rebounds tonight. First offensive rebound for him.
Gales have, there's a pass around now, and there's a block. Goes out of bounds, it's saved. And let's see who's going to keep it. The Wildcats keep it. So the Wildcats keeping things moving. However, we're at 2-1. That's the score right now. Here's Anthony Ash with a shot for a three-pointer, and it's good. And like that, it's 5-1 in favor of the Wildcats.
Jack's up, kind of surveying the situation here. I think he still feels pretty good about his position. It's a long way to go here. They've got to solve this zone first.
They're crashing down hard, no doubt about it, on Phil McKnight. He can't hold on to it. It goes out of bounds, and it will go over to the Wildcats.
Second turnover for the Gales.
Justin Riggins quickly checks in. Phil McKnight will sit down for the Gales.
Newark with their same starting 5. That was the first substitution here. 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
There's a nice backdoor pass to Block, and again it's McKnight on the rejection. And then we're going to get a foul before the shot, maybe before the shot. We're going to find out.
Well, McKnight is playing very well underneath tonight. It just unfortunate that ball caromed into the hands of Jared Wachter, but a nice block.
Justin Riggins picked up the foul for the Gales just into the ball game. Wachter will go to the line. He'll be shooting 2. First shot is good. 6-1, a 5-point lead for the Wildcats. Second shot in and out, no good. Riggins grabs the rebound for the Gales. Josh Laver over to Chad McKnight, back to Laver. Gales again passing the perimeter, trying to find something open on that zone. They really have not had a good look at the hoop yet, Paul.
Yeah, they haven't been able to figure out this zone yet. They've shot a couple outside, but and they've time.
Well, there's Beatty with a good drive, can't get it to go. Chad McKnight on the rebound, and then he's going to get a foul on the backside, trying to get his own rebound, and quickly Chad now has 2 fouls, and his brother Phil's going to have to check in for it.
It's unfortunate we seem to get somebody in foul trouble early on in the game. Usually Chad, and he has to come out, and that really hurts us offensively. And defensively tonight, he's doing such a great job.
So the Wildcats already lead this one 6-1. There's 2 minutes, 53 seconds left to play here in the first quarter. Ash to Williams. Williams goes baseline with it and walks with the basketball and turns it over. That's the first turnover for the Wildcats. Josh Laver to Alvis as the Gales try to solve this. Need a hoop. Inside now to McKnight. Loses it out of bounds. And the Wildcats get it back.
Second turnover for Phil, and that's the play they want right there. They're trying to drop it inside like that, but then the Gales are just a little bit too anxious, not showing good hands in the paint when they get the ball.
Wachter takes the pass, dishes over to Ash. Ash spins, goes in hard with it, no good, and then a foul backside. Williams coming crashing in over the top of McKnight. Williams picks up his first foul, team's third.
This zone for Newark is, to this point, with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, very active. They're reacting well to the passes. And Lancaster's not throwing over the top very much. They're usually short passes, not much distance on them, and they're not making the zone work.
Well, again, they try to force it into Phil McKnight, and it's stolen by the Wildcats. Williams over to Ash. Ash with the shot. It is no good. And then Black comes around Alvis, but he walks with the basketball when he comes down with it.
Boy, he moved right around for that rebound, and then he found himself dead under the basket and tried to position himself outside that plane and just walked with it. But a great rebound.
There you saw Coach Quackenbush for the Wildcats there momentarily.
Has to be pleased with that effort.
Well, he's pleased with the effort. I don't think he was pleased with the call.
Rarely is he, I would guess. But a great rebound.
Beatty cross courts it to Laver. Laver will take the shot. It's no good. Riggins is called for the foul, and that's his second.
Minute and a half to go in the first quarter, and a couple players with a couple fouls for the Gales that they can ill afford that.
Well, Tyler Kimmerer up off the bench for the Gales. He'll be checking in for Riggins. And very uncharacteristically speaking, that the Gales have 5 team fouls with a minute 34 left to play in the first quarter.
Again, that zone seems to have them a little bit confused offensively. They're just not reacting well to it. Playing pretty well at the defensive end, but even though they trail 6-1, but they've got to get some action down offensively.
Well, still, you look at it, you go through a quarter, only give up 6 points, you think you should be leading.
I would say this is a season low for first quarter points for the Gales.
Justin Rager into the ball game, number 33 for Newark. We're down under a minute to play here in the first quarter. Looks like the Wildcats may want to take the last shot. They're not looking to go. Now Rager goes. This is down inside. It's good as a shot is made by Nick Swinehart. He checked into the ball game, and he gets his first bucket, and now it's 8-1 in favor of the Wildcats. And that goes against Phil McKnight on the foul, his first, team 6th.
Nick is a 6'5" junior. He's a big boy. Not much of an offensive threat. He doesn't want to shoot. He's in there more for defensive purposes. Doesn't play a very aggressive game, but knew what he was supposed to do with the ball there. It was nice to see.
Swinehart will go to the line to try to complete the three-point play. His shot is up, and it rolls in and out, no good. It's the most I've seen a ball spin around inside a hoop in a long time, this many times in this ball game. 8-1, Newark on top. 36 seconds to play. Laver, Alvis.
Lancaster just having trouble pulling the trigger on that long one.
And then we get a foul as Laver tried to drive. Comes on the outside. And the foul goes against number 20, Centrell Turner, his second.
Less than a half minute to go in the first quarter. And the Gales still stuck on 1 point. They'd like to get something here as they wrap it up.
They go inside to Riggins, or I'm sorry, Kemmerer, and he can't get it to go. So with 20 seconds, the Wildcats will bring it down for the final shot. Rager will bring it across the timeline. Tall, lanky kid, Rager, but handles the basketball pretty well. Black with the ball, 6 seconds to Rager. Rager for 3. It's no good. Rebound, Swinehart on the backside, and he gets it to go. And that is the end of the first quarter of play with a Wildcats lead 10-1. We'll be back with more right after this.
Each year, Americans generate over 700 million gallons of waste motor oils, and almost half of this oil is improperly disposed. Hi, I'm County Commissioner Alan Reed. The improper disposal of used oil hurts us ways by harming our drinking water supply and by wasting a valuable, non-renewable energy source. If you are a do-it-yourselfer, take your waste oil to an oil recycling station in your area. With your help, we can all keep Ohio and Fairfield County clean and safe.
Back here at Newark High School, Andy Rice and Paul Jasson, and usually I say the entire IVP crew. However,
well, we are the entire
we are the entire crew tonight, thanks to our friends at Adelphia Cablevision here in Newark. And a walk with a basketball as Black tried to drive, came down on, it looked to be Matt Albus's foot, and then just fell down.
That's his second turnover and evens the game up at 3 apiece. I guess, and Jack was a bit verbose, shall we say, but...
Oh, that is a very mild way of putting it, what Jack did there at that... There's McKnight with the rebound, and then he is hammered from behind.
Nice rebound by Phil.
Quincy Jackson is going to pick up the foul. That's his first. 10-1. That is the score. The Gales got the first point on a free throw by Phil McKnight, who stands at the line right now, and then the Newark Wildcats ran off the next 10.
I think we're going to see Lancaster get a little more active with the ball and trying to position themselves to get the ball in the paint. They've been settling just to pass it in and just see what happens. I think they'll get more active and force the issue a little bit here.
Not too many times you can say that you're your team's only scorer in the second quarter, as McKnight has all 3 of the Gale points, all from the foul line. The Gales yet to hit a shot from the floor.
I think they have to feel pretty good. I mean, they played awful in the first quarter, just awful, and they're only down by 7. I mean, that's not bad.
Heck, for Ohio State, that's like nothing.
Yep. We got them right where we want them.
That's going to go against Matt Alvis as he comes across, picks up his second foul. So now the Gales have put the Wildcats in a 1-on-1 situation for the next 3, and then obviously 2 shots after that. A very uncharacteristic Gales performance here. So many fouls early on, and Black makes the first one. That's his first point. Jim Shaner in the ball game as Matt Alvis will sit down. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, those are not socks that Black wears there. That's tape all the way up his legs. Phil McKnight, as that pass is knocked away by Rager. So the Gales will keep it. Williams checks back in for the Wildcats, and Quincy Jackson sits down. 7:09 left to play here in the first half, 11-3. The Wildcats on top by 8. Quick pass down inside to Kemmerer, and he is hammered as he goes up for the shot. So the Gales figure that the best way to try and get these shots to go is just to hammer it down inside.
I think that's what we're going to see now, and as we've indicated, each time now to certainly start the second quarter, they've come down and they've not settled for anything outside. They've looked to go inside every time.
Kemmerer's first shot is good. It's the back door, but it made it.
Kemmerer, a 75% free throw shooter for the year, so he runs good numbers.
Second shot, in and out, no good. Rebound by Anthony Ash. 11-4. Ash guarded by Beatty. Rager to Ash. Rager, he tries to drive it to the hoop and then had nowhere to go, and he threw it right to Jimmy Shaner. Phil McKnight thought about taking a 3, brings it back down, puts up the shot, no good, backs away from it. Rager with the rebound for the Wildcats. Gales playing very tight on their man-to-man defense right now. Rager spins all the way around, dishes off to Black. Black on the move to the hoop. He makes the bucket, and he is fouled.
Nice slicing move to the bucket that the Gales just couldn't handle.
That goes against Jimmy Shaner, his first. That's the 8th team foul for the Gales.
Jack just kind of arms folded, kind of resigned to his position right now. I don't think he can believe kind of what he's seeing. I mean, they just look so awful offensively. Just so out of sync. Certainly a lot of that credit has to go to Newark.
Well, they have packed that zone down in tight. Here's a shot, no good, and Shaner on the rebound backside.
Haven't attempted a three-pointer, I don't think, tonight.
Well, they had one, and now the Gales just cannot get anything to fall. And Coach Greathouse now is telling his bench, we've had one shot the last 2 or 3 times down the floor. Now a weave by the Wildcats. Here's Black high off the glass, and it's good. And Coach Greathouse needs a timeout, and he takes it. 5:41 to play in the first half, and the score is the Wildcats 15, the Golden Gales 4. We'll be back with more right after this.
Satisfied customers have been relying on Heston's Auto Service and used cars since 1943. Come on by and meet Jim and Shirley Heston and find the highest quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and vans.
And don't forget the other side of Heston's, quality auto care. During these winter months, allow Heston's to keep your car on the road. That's Heston's Auto Service and Used Cars, 603 Lincoln Avenue, Lancaster.
Back at Newark High School, where the Wildcats lead 15-4. 5:41 left to play here in the first half. Andy Rice and Paul Jasson with the nice folks from Adelphia Cablevision providing our video feed for tonight's ball game.
Well, the stories so far has been the inability of Lancaster to solve the very active zone by Newark, and then on the defensive end, certainly to begin the second quarter and midway through it, we've been able to slow down at all. They've run their offense to perfection.
The only saving grace right now in a bad situation, the Gales have 18 fouls. However, Newark has only made 2 foul shots. Here's the shot, no good. Nice rebound by Kemmer. He can't get it to go, and that's a rebound by Jackson. So the Gales got 2 shots off that time, but are unable to get anything to fall, and the Gales still have not hit a shot from the floor. And now the Wildcats are going to spread it out. They figure they've got an 11-point lead. They might as well just stand out there. And
Lancaster's gone to a zone defense, it looks like, too.
You see Coach Greathouse down there in the bottom of your screen.
Nope, still man-to-man.
He tells his team what to do, and they break out of it now as the Wildcats start moving the ball around, but still they're more content. Lancaster fans want a 5-second call, but Rager got it down inside the stripe. Black. Wow, that's a bit of a nice tackle by Jimmy Shaner. And look at that, he got a rebound laying on the ground, and then a foul by Josh Laver. Well, when it rains, it pours, doesn't it, Paul?
Well, bad situation there. He happened to go down, and you'd think there'd been a call one way or the other, perhaps a good no call. But then as he's laying here, he gets the rebound, and then some accidental contact underneath.
Josh, there you see Coach Greathouse. And, well, I tell you, Jack, he's just perplexed at this point, as is most of the Gales fans at this point. Here's the first shot by Quincy Jackson. It's good. 16-4. A 12-point lead for the Wildcats.
I don't think it could get much. Well, 17-4 would be worse, but it can't get much worse than this. It's just hard to believe what's going on here.
Quincy knocks them both down, and it is now 17-4 in favor of the Wildcats.
I think we heard Jack in the pregame show, and he felt, I think, as confident as you could feel about this game.
Tyler Kemmer with the drive. Nice drive, but he was rejected as he got inside. They try to force it into McKnight. Then a jump ball situation is called, and it's going to stay with the Golden Gales. So the Gales will inbound the basketball. with 3 minutes, 59 seconds left to play in the first half. Phil McKnight. Now Beatty takes the shot, and there it is. Finally breaks the seal as the Gales get their first bucket from the floor to make it 17-6. And that's got to be just at least a little pressure off now. Black on a spin, and the ball knocked away by Kemmerer, but nice backside support by Quincy Jackson. Got the rebound, or knocked the rebound, but the knock away, and then put it up and in. He's got 4 points, and it's 19-6 in favor of the Wildcats. Here's a shot, no good, and again the Gales with one shot.
One shot and out, and that, I think that's got Jack as frustrated as anything.
Rager for three. It's over everything. And then Wachter tried to save it, but he can't. And the Gale student section.
I think we can see that chant coming.
Centrell Turner back into the ball game for Newark. Golden Gales have Beatty, Laver, Jimmy Shaner, Phil McKnight, and Tyler Kemmerer in the ball game right now. Here's Beatty on the drive. Let's see. He's going to be fouled as he goes to the hoop. Nice drive by Beatty.
I think that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to do some creating here because Newark's not giving them anything. They're going to have to take something.
Well, that's the 7th team foul for the Wildcats for the final 2 minutes, 52 seconds. Every time we hear that whistle called on a foul, we're going to be going to the line. Beatty with 2 points. First shot is good. (19-7). Good look at Brad as he puts up his second shot. It's no good, and Centrell Turner high for the rebound for the Wildcats.
I think the first time around I can remember everybody wearing football jerseys for Lancaster, kind of remembering what went on in the football game.
Here's Phil McKnight bringing it down, dishing it over to Laver. Laver to Shaner to Beatty, and Beatty will drive in. Nice head fake, but he can't get the shot to go. Jack is perplexed.
They just look so anxious. You get those open opportunities like that, and you have to make them, and the Gales just they've had some looks, but haven't been able to convert them.
Again, the Wildcats right now are content to pass the ball around on the perimeter. Rager, looks like he's had like 4 or 5 cups of coffee before the game started.
He's pretty up there. For a big man, like you say, he handles the ball quite well. Jeff Quackenbush exhorting his troops out there to run the offense.
They're down to 1:40. What seemed to be the longest first quarter in history has turned this second quarter into
the longest first half.
And Phil McKnight is going to pick up the foul, trying to go through a set pick by Rager. And for Phil, that's his second foul.
They get him out of here now so he won't pick up the third one before the half.
That's the 10th team foul for the Gales, which means Rager will shoot 2. And Justin hears the chant of air ball from the Golden Gales fans. He makes his first one, however. Justin Riggins checks in for Phil McKnight. Riggins has to watch himself as he has 2 fouls. Second shot, that's his first 2 points. And they've tripled the Gales score. It's 21-7.
Well, it was 10-1 at one point, so we're making some headway.
That's right.
Percentage-wise.
Shaner, he'll take the 3, in and out, no good, but there's Riggins on the backside, can't get it to go as he's fouled going up for the shot. That goes against Swinart, his second.
one of the rare times that Lancaster actually gets an offensive rebound and is able to go for the putback. They didn't get that, but now they still have the opportunity to get 2 points. So that's what Jack's kind of been harping about, is you have to be in position to get those rebounds.
Riggins softly puts the first one in. His first point. The Gales have, in this ball game, 6 free throws and 1 basket. 21-8. With 1:10 left to play in the first half. Second shot is no good, and Black on the rebound for the Wildcats. Down to 1 minute to play in the first half. And the Wildcats going into their outside weave offense. Nice job by Jimmy Shaner as he goes flying into the crowd.
Boy, and Jack's pack loves that effort.
Wildcats inbound to basketball with 45 seconds to play in the first half.
Lancaster, of course, should they lose this game, they'd end up 5-5 in the OCC in their division. So this is certainly not how you want to wind up going into the tournaments, but we've got a ways to go yet.
Down to 20 seconds to play in the first half. Wide open is Anthony Ash, and he nails the three. 6 points for Ash, 2 3-pointers. 24-8 with 7 seconds to play. Beatty will take the three, and it's no good, and he is fouled as he goes up for the shot. So Beatty will have 3 shots, and Black picks up the foul, his first. With 0.2 of a second left to play in the first half.
Boy, Rager bailed him out on that one. The shot was short, and then the foul.
Oh, I'm sorry, they didn't call it against Black, they called it against Rager. I thought he said number 3.
33, yeah.
So Rager picks up his first. Beatty's first shot is good.
So they could actually get into double figures here as we end up the half. A sort of moral victory.
Beatty's second shot is good. And to try to complete the unconventional 3-point play.
The trifecta, if you will.
The last shot is good. So Beatty knocks down 4 of 5 free throws here in the second quarter. The Gales, if you want to call it, have climbed back into respectable distance. 24-11 is the score at halftime as you see Coach Greathouse and the Golden Gales go off. We'll be back with more right after we take this timeout.
Let's take a moment to find out why Tiberio's Ristorante is Lancaster's favorite downtown stop. Tiberio's Ristorante in the heart of downtown Lancaster.
Steve Messerly and Advest will help you achieve your financial goals. Steve's philosophy is simple. Care about your clients, work with them honestly and with integrity, and deliver a high level of service. As a former assistant treasurer of investments for The Ohio State University, Steve will put his investment knowledge to work for you. He can help you save money for retirement, fund your children's education, or decrease your tax liability. Let Steve Messerly be your investment manager. Call him today at 653-5757.
In soccer, as in all team sports, it takes a lot of people to contribute to a winning effort. When it comes to fighting the complications of diabetes, the same kind of effort is needed. That's why we're asking for your support. You can help sink diabetes for good when you participate in this year's Swim for Diabetes.
United Healthcare Swim for Diabetes is Sunday, March 5th at 42 area pools. To register, call 800-422-SWIM.
One small ripple creates a tidal wave of support.
The Community Bank, come grow with us. You'll be hearing that phrase often in the months to come. As Lancaster's newest bank, we have the unique opportunity to blend the local banking experience of people you know with custom-designed products and some of the best loan and deposit rates in town.
Stop in today and see why Lancaster needs another bank. But not just any bank, the community bank. Come grow with us. Our main office is in downtown Lancaster, or visit our East Main Street office.
We're back here. It's halftime at Newark High School where the Wildcats lead 24-11. The Golden Gales with just one field goal in the first half. That was by Brad Beatty, who's the leading scorer for the Gales with 6 points. Phil McKnight has 3, Tyler Kemmer and Justin Riggins a point apiece. The Wildcats led by Anthony Ashes 6, 5 for Mike Black, 4 for Quincy Jackson and Dick Swinehart, and 2 for Rager and a point for Jared Wachter. Paul, the statistics are, you look at them, but I think the biggest statistic that we don't keep is how many times the Gales have only had one shot at the basket each of the time down the floor offensively.
Well, they only have 4 offensive rebounds. They've been out-rebounded 16-12, but most of those that you've indicated have been defensive rebounds. The number of times that they've got one and out is phenomenal, and that's, I'm sure, what I'd like to be a fly on the wall. I don't think we can put much of it up on the screen or on the audio, but I'm sure Jack is going to talk about they've got to be more aggressive down there. And again, at the offensive end, they just can't settle for one shot and walk away.
24-11 is the score at halftime. The Wildcats lead this one. We'll be back with the second half of play right after we take this timeout.
Steve Messerly and Advest will help you achieve your financial goals. Steve's philosophy is simple. Care about your clients, work with them honestly and with integrity, and deliver a high level of service. As a former assistant treasurer of investments for The Ohio State University, Steve will put his investment knowledge to work for you. He can help you save money for retirement, fund your children's education, or decrease your tax liability. Let Steve Messerly be your investment manager. Call him today at 653-5757.
Each year, Americans generate over 700 million gallons of waste motor oils, and almost half of this oil is improperly disposed. Hi, I'm County Commissioner Alan Reed. The improper disposal of used oil hurts us 2 ways: by harming our drinking water supply and by wasting a valuable, non-renewable energy source. If you are a do-it-yourselfer, take your waste oil to an oil recycling station in your area. With your help, we can all keep Ohio and Fairfield County clean and safe.
This is Stan Robinson inviting you to join me Monday through Friday, Channel 22 for Town and Country, 12:30 and 6:30. Mondays here at Riverview. Tuesdays at Community Bank. Wednesdays here at the Fairfield County District Library. Thursdays at Value City. And here on Fridays at Gorsuch Realty on Wheeling in Lancaster. Wrapping up the week once again on Town and Country, Channel 22, Interface Video Productions.
Back here at Newark High School where the Golden Gales trail as we go into the third quarter of play, 24-11. Andy Rice and Paul Jasson. And as usually we say, our IVP sports crew, however, they got the night off. They're at home enjoying themselves while the good friends from Adelphia Cablevision here in Newark are providing our video feed for tonight's ball game. We certainly appreciate John Hall and all the boys over at Adelphia for doing that for us this evening here in Newark. Well, as we said earlier, next week we'll have the Golden Gales first round tournament game at the Columbus Fairgrounds Coliseum. Actually, I don't think they call it the Exposition Center now, to be politically correct. And the Gales will be taking on Columbus West, who is playing for the City League Championship Saturday night. So they are a very good ball club. Matter of fact, I think they go into that ball game at 16-3 or 15-4. I'm not really positive. So That is going to be a tough game for the Gales next week. We'll have it right here on Channel 22 for you. And then obviously we'll kind of look, as we know the Fighting Irish and Fisher Catholic have Village Academy in their first round, but they have a chance to play Cardington in the second round. That's always been a big ball game in the past, so we may do that one for the second game on Tuesday. But first we got to get past this one. The Wildcats lead 24-11. They have the basketball to start the second half of play. The Gales out with their original starting five, and the Wildcats turn it over immediately here to start the second half of play.
Newark kind of, I don't know if you'd call it four-corner, but it's certainly a spread offense, and they committed turnovers. So their game plan to some degree is they're not going to be in any hurry to shoot it, so we'll see if that comes back to backfire on them.
Phil McKnight dishes over to his brother Chad. There you go.
Makes a huge difference when they're both in there.
First bucket for Chad McKnight, only the second bucket of the ball game for the Gales themselves. 24-13.
I tell you, they had the rhythm in the first half, and you start to monkey around with this and start to spread it out a little bit, and we'll trying to get some easy buckets in the middle like they're trying to do, and we'll see how this works for them.
Rick Snyder, here's a nice pass down to Black. He's going to get it, and Chad McKnight on the foul. That's his third personal.
Well, I guess it's going to work pretty good.
I was saying Rick sitting next to us here in our position and kind of asked us if we thought that Jack may have been talking to the boys during the halftime thing. I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But right now, they're faced with a 13-point deficit. Mike Black got the bucket to go, is fouled and gets the back end, so he gets a three-point play. And it's 27-13. Gales can't afford to try and fight back into this one by giving them three-point plays like that. Here's again Chad McKnight. How about that? Looking easy now.
Two easy ones like that, but they obviously Jack's trying to exhort them to get back in the game at the defensive end.
They're going to say it's off of the Wildcats.
Two turnovers out of three opportunities here.
Centrell Turner couldn't hang on to it, and now the Wildcats quickly get a couple of guys up off the bench. Turner checks out, and Rager comes in. Also in the ball game is Quincy Jackson.
I tell you, that's just the kind of offense that could come back to haunt you. They had things going their way, and now they tried to slow it down, change it up, and three times down they've got one three-point opportunity, but also two turnovers. Could play right into the Gales' hands.
Here's Laver for three, no good. Chad McKnight went up high but couldn't get the rebound. Laver able to go over and get the basketball, so the Gales hang on to it. Beatty, here's the shot by the left-hander Jimmy Shaner. It's no good. And then we get a foul on the backside. Laver picks it up. That is the second personal foul for Josh Laver. .6:05 to play in the third quarter. If you just tuned in, well, the score is right, 27-15. The Gales with only one field goal in the whole first half.
They did not get a field goal until 3:47 to go in the second quarter.
Ash almost lost it. Jackson takes his pass. Now the Gales, you better believe they're going to hustle their rear ends off here in the second half to play defense. Here's the shot by Ash, in and out, no good, and Laver high for the rebound for the Gales. Now we got to run. Laver dishes over. Chad McKnight back across to his brother Phil from three. It's no good, and Wachter on the rebound.
They need to hit those shots when they've got those opportunities there. That's the only chance they have to get back in this thing.
Jackson picked up his dribble, but is able to get it over to Rager. Here's the lob down. Rager in the corner. Here's Black from three, and it's good. Well, there's a big difference, too. They're able to hit the shots. Wildcats, without saying, obviously shooting much better than the Gales here tonight from the floor. Now the Gales, again, Whipper will take the three. It's no good, and Chad McKnight is fouled from the backside by Rager. For Justin, his second foul.
Gales definitely are hitting the boards much harder as we begin the second half, which I'm sure was part of the talking to that Jack gave them at the half.
I like the way you phrased that.
It's the PG version.
Labor to Beatty. Nice move down underneath the Phil McKnight, and
he could hardly believe he was that open. Man, great pass from Beatty, too.
He head faked his brother Chad.
That's right.
Jackson almost let that one get away from him, and then he almost threw it back over the timeline. The Gales really moving their defense around, and here's Rager with a drive to the bucket, and he picks up the foul.
Well, the Gales are going to have to play smarter on defense. They're spreading it out and taking the McKnight boys out of the paint in the middle, and that leaves the lane open, and nobody's getting back. So you get around your man, the lane becomes easy for you.
That's 4 points for Rager. Matt Alvis will check in now for Jimmy Shaner. The foul one against Josh Laver, that's his third.
The Gales are playing much better offensively, but this change in defense, while I thought it might help Lancaster, has not helped them that much, and they're getting hurt at the defensive end this quarter.
Rager hits the back end, and that is, Paul, we've had 3 3-point plays here in the second half by the Wildcats. 2 the old-fashioned way and 1 regular one behind the arc. 33-17 is the score. Here's Laver from 3. He can't get it to go. McKnight climbing on the top of Wachter there, but is unable to get anything to go on the rebound, and the Wildcats have the basketball.
Well, the Gales need a little bit of luck on those 3-point shots. They aren't getting much action.
Rager fouled on the floor. If it's against Laver, it's his 4th. And Kyle Greathouse, Jack's son, the freshman, into the ball game.
That was interesting to see how this will all turn around now with Kyle in there.
And there's a nice steal by Phil McKnight. McKnight on the run. Gets it to Beatty. Here's a shot blocked. Blacks tried to save it in, threw it to Phil, but he was stepping on the line as he did so.
Phil sort of took his time on that 3-pointer to get a good look at it. It was just a half second too long.
Kyle Greathouse is a shooter. Here's Beatty taking the 3-pointer, and it's good. 9 points now for Brad Beatty. Keeping the Gales close, or at least as close as can be in this one, 33-20.
Well, they're still in this if they can just get a couple stops defensively, because offensively they're playing much better. But they've got to have some stops.
Rager,
almost a turnover there.
He almost lost it. Ash
gets Beatty and Greathouse going after you out there. You've got some hands flying after the ball.
That goes against Phil McKnight, which is going to be his 3rd foul.
Jack in a bit of disbelief there, as you can see. He's been pretty much in disbelief this whole game. He hasn't liked what he's seen, but need a few calls to go their way right now.
Jack all the way across the timeline to say something to the official. And then the Wildcats turn the basketball over.
I can't believe he still has his coat on.
Can't imagine Jack working the official like he is right now. Kyle Greathouse on the point. Beatty dishes over to Alvis. To Kyle Greathouse back around. Here's Chad McKnight on the shot, and it's good. 6 points in the quarter by Chad McKnight. 33-22, the Gales to within the 11.
This is the closest they've been since they were down that 10-1 early at the end of the first quarter.
Rager can't get inside. Now here's a shot by Black. It's no good. Chad McKnight on the rebound for the Gales. Gives it off to his brother Phil.
Gales trying to claw their way back into it. A bucket right here would be huge.
Beatty for 3. It's good!
Oh, man. Oh, baby.
12 points for Brad Beatty, and we're back to within 8, 33-25. 2:09 left to play here as the Wildcats call a 20-second timeout. So we'll just keep it right here with the 2:09 to play. There you see the score as all of a sudden the Gales have raced back.
And that air of confidence has kind of left Newark a little bit. They were playing with great authority and a little disdain for the Gales as they had everything going their way. But now the Mo has gone over to Lancaster's side a little bit here, and now things have shifted a bit. And we'll see how Newark can handle a bit of pressure as we're closing in on the last couple minutes of the 3rd quarter.
Big Mo
It's on Lancaster's side right now. We'll see what kind of play Newark comes out with, what they've set up. Jeff Quackenbush has pretty much had things his way this entire game, but now the cheese is getting a little more binding here in the third quarter.
I've never heard that analogy used in a sports
And there's
game.
a reason for that.
Thank you very much. Here's Black. They're going to say he's blocked by Alvis.
Alvis tried to shift his feet and get right in front of him. That was pretty close right there. He tried to just get in his road to block him.
3 fouls for Matt Alvis. Minute 58 to play here in the third quarter.
Too much time.
5-second call. The Gales did a great job that time of not letting Black or Rager through the picks.
Good job defensively by the Gales. They forced several turnovers, and that's what they need, because at the offensive end, things are going much better for them.
Greathouse to Alvis, back to Greathouse. You better believe Kyle has the open shot. He'll pop it. Here's a lob into McKnight, right under the hoop, and he puts it in. Chad McKnight with 8 points in the quarter. It's 33-27.
So Newark calls a timeout. They come back, turn it over, and the Gales come down and score.
The Gales to within 6. That's the closest they've been since the first quarter early. Here's the ball tipped, and it's stolen by Beatty. The Gales have the advantage 4-3. Beatty with the shot, no good, he is blocked.
Quackenbush is unhappy.
Black picks up the foul, his first. Beatty will go to the line to shoot 2. He's got 12 points in the game.
So looking at Brad's mom and his grandma in the stands, and they're a little bit anxious.
Grandpa, I think, fell off the back of the bleachers back here.
Jerry.
First shot, no good. Alvis checks out. Jimmy Sheener back in. It's almost like the Bopsy twins with the blonde hairdo out there. You don't know which one's out there.
It's a good look.
Minute 11 left to play in the third quarter. The Gales have fought back to within 6.
This has been a big quarter for them.
Second shot looks good, and it is. 13 for Beatty. 33-28 with 1:07 to play.
Outscored 17-9. They've outscored Newark here in this quarter to claw back in it.
How about that? Good job by Chad McKnight. Then Phil walks. No, they're going to say he was on the end line.
His foot was on the end line. He kind of slid to the ball. Now Jack is on the official again, saying, you were right there. Why didn't you make that call? And Jeff is saying, good call, good call. Good chess match here between Lancaster and Newark. This is, like you indicated before we started, this is high school basketball at its best. There they start that weave again.
Black with the shot, no good, and then it's going to go off of Black, and the Gales will get it. Justin Reagan's getting ready to check in for the Gales. He'll go in for Chad McKnight with 38 seconds left to play here in the third quarter. Josh Laver will check back in. He's got to watch himself. He's got 4 fouls. Phil McKnight will sit down, and Tyler Kimmerer will come into the ball game. I think, no, he won't. Jack thought better about it. So it's Beatty, Greathouse, Laver, Shaner, and Riggins in the ball game for the Gales with 33 seconds to play here in the third quarter.
Newark has turned the ball over 5 times this quarter to just once for the Gales, and that has just been a huge swing of momentum for Lancaster. 20 seconds to go now. The Gales are in an opportunity that they can feel they can settle for one shot.
If I'm not mistaken, the Gales are going to get the ball to start the fourth quarter anyway.
Yes.
And that ball is stolen. It's picked up. Black with 3 seconds, and then Kyle Greathouse steps in, knocks the ball away. So with the 1.5 seconds left to play here in the third quarter,
Second turnover for them, and that one hurt.
The Wildcats will have the basketball.
They cannot not give up 2 free throws here. It would have been okay for them. So this could be a 4-point swing here. They not only turn the ball over, but then commit the turnover or the foul at the other end.
That was the 7th team foul, thus the reason why Black is at the line to shoot 1-1. First shot is in and out, no good. Justin Riggins for the rebound, and then that is the end of the third quarter. The Gales race back into it, 33-28. We'll be back with the fourth quarter right after this.
Satisfied customers have been relying on Heston's Auto Service and used cars since 1943. Come on by and meet Jim and Shirley Heston and find the highest quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and vans.
And don't forget the other side of Heston's, quality auto care. During these winter months, allow Heston's to keep your car on the road. That's Heston's Auto Service and used cars, 603 Lincoln Avenue, Lancaster.
Let's take a moment to find out why Tiberio's Ristorante is Lancaster's favorite downtown stop. The heart of downtown Lancaster.
Back here at Newark High School, Andy Rice and Paul Jasson, where the Golden Gales have clawed, climbed, screeched, scratched, whatever you want to say, back into this one. 33-28. At one point, they were down, 30 to 13 at one point. Here's the shot. It's no good, and a rebound by Wachter. So the Gales only get one shot that time down the floor.
They outscored Newark 17-9 in the third quarter to take an 8-point advantage, and as you indicated, pull back within 5 as we start the fourth quarter.
Here's Black spinning. His shot no good. The ball is on the floor, and I think Phil McKnight's going to get called for the foul. That is the 4th foul for Phil.
You have to leave him in, I think, now. I don't think you can afford to take him out because he's been one of the spark plugs to get back in here. So he's going to, and we'll have to see how effective it will be. I can remember Bill Russell, the old Celtics, used to say when you get 4 fouls, you see how effective the player is if you leave him in. And that'll be the key to McKnight.
Well, he's not going to stay. Wachter's first shot is no good. Then he got his own rebound. The ball's on the floor. They're going to call a jump ball. Jack doesn't like the extracurricular activity. The Gales fans don't.
It kind of goes with the Lancaster and Newark rivalry.
Well, with the jump ball, Newark keeps it. The Wildcats with a 5-point lead.
Nice job of cutting off the baseline there by Riggins. Gales have been much more active defensively here in this second half. They've really gotten after the ball.
Shaner picks up the foul as he's...
Pretty weak call there.
He's on Black like, well, yeah.
I mean, you've got those two guys wrestling around out there, and that's a no call, and that was barely a touch, and that was a call.
No Black in the ball game. Has 11 points. His first shot in and out, no good, and Chad McKnight with the rebound. See what the Gales can do here.
Those scorers, we've gone
Kyle
2 minutes.
Greathouse, he'll take it in and out from 3, no good, but Chad McKnight on the rebound, and he puts it back up and in.
That was Chad's 6th rebound of the evening.
And the Gales are to within 3, 33-30. That ball almost tipped away by Brad Beatty. Black had a lane, thought about taking it, didn't. I think if you're the Wildcats, Paul, you got to start thinking about attacking the basket a little bit here.
They've been very passive this half, settling for outside shots and just working the ball around, and I think to some degree it's worked against them.
Black off the glass, and it's good. (35-30). It's the Wildcats by 5. We're at 6 minutes to play in the ball game. Shaner will take the 3, and it's good!
Closest they've been since it was 2-1 or 3-1.
First bucket for Jimmy Shaner, and the Gales are to within 2, 35-33.
Wow.
And they call Shaner on the foul. Well,
that absolutely was not on Shaner. He got sandwiched in between 2 Newark players.
Well, that's going to be...
Oh, Jack is giving it to the official now.
2 shots now for the rest of the ball game for the Wildcats. First shot is no good.
So Lancaster within 1 possession now of tying up the game. 5:45 to go in it. Wow.
Chase Williams, the second one looks good, and it is. 36-33.
It's just nice to have a good finish at the end. You don't know who will win, but just like to be in the game.
Chad McKnight back to Kyle Greathouse. Had it. Shaner will take it. In and out, no good. And Kyle Greathouse with the rebound gets it to Chad. Back to Kyle. And the Gales will set it up again. Right now, the Wildcats just laying back. Almost daring them to take a 3.
A little action going on here between Beatty. I just saw that right there. And Centrell Turner got caught. He was hooking Beatty as he was trying to move around him. And the official right on top of the play. Bad place to pull that move.
Still, all in all, you have to take the words from the people sitting around us. That's only the 3rd team foul for the Wildcats. There's 11 by the Gales.
Well, we're playing in Newark. What do you want?
Beatty tries to go baseline, dishes back over to McKnight, and he puts it in.
Another great pass from Beatty to McKnight.
12 points for Chad McKnight, all in the second half, and the Gales to within 1, 36-35.
They haven't led in this game since it was 1-0. I think the noose is feeling a little tight around the neck now for Newark. I can guarantee you that.
Ash walks with the basketball.
Gales have the opportunity to take the lead here for the first time since it was 2-1.
I feel really sorry for that referee right now. He has to listen to Quackenbush half of the floor and then Greathouse the other half.
Yeah.
And Jack picks him up right at the timeline.
Oh yeah. It's a team thing.
Riggins to
Here
Beatty.
it goes.
Beatty for 3, no good, and the rebound pulled down by Black.
That would have been a big one if it could have gone there. Now we'll see if the Gales can keep it cranked up defensively.
4 minutes to play in the ball game. Here's Black, and he puts it up, and it's good.
That's just way too easy. Way too easy. He's gotten too many of those little curls into the lane tonight, and he jumps so high.
And the Gales want a timeout. It's a 20-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. As you see the Gales get into their huddle, 3:46 left to play in the ball game, 38-35.
You're certainly at a key point in the game for Lancaster. You see this a lot where teams will be behind, they'll work very hard to get tied or even go ahead, and then they just seem to run out of steam. So now the Lancaster has given up the bucket to fall behind by 3, and we'll see how Lancaster handles it offensively, because they can't afford to come away for like 2 or 3 times now without buckets than to give up scoring opportunities to Newark.
On the floor for the Gales, Beatty, Greathouse, Shaner, and the McKnight brothers. Gales.
Kyle wants it.
They feed it down to McKnight. McKnight in trouble, gets it to his brother Chad. He puts it in and he's fouled.
Nice look. Nice look from Phil to Chad to give him that opportunity because he had the lane closed off there.
I tell you what, it looked like Phil was cut off. And it was going to be a bad situation, but he turns it into a good one, and the Gales can tie it up now if Chad McKnight can hit this free throw. Shot is up, looks good, and it is, and we're tied at 38.
They've outscored Newark 10-5 as we begun into the fourth quarter now to tie it up at 38 all.
Ash to Williams. Here they go with the weave. Black cut off, spins, and he's called for the offensive foul.
Big turnover there for Newark. Big turnover because it's the Mike Ash show, or the Mike Black and the Tony Ash show. They love to get the ball and create out there, and now we'll see if Lancaster can take the lead.
3:09 to play in the ball game.
Now Quackenbush is the wild man, and Jack's sort of laid back and watching things happen, and he still has his coat on, so I'll give Jack credit for that.
And it's not cold in here, folks. That's for sure.
What a great game.
Chad McKnight loses it. Centrell Turner picks it up, and then Chad is called for the foul. His fourth. So with 2:57 to play, the Gales, after tying it up, have now got to be careful because the McKnight brothers and Josh Laver all have 4 fouls. Laver's on the bench right now, but the McKnight brothers, especially Chad, have been a big reason for the comeback here in the second half.
Newark hasn't been you've got the numbers on that. They haven't done very well shooting free throws this evening, and that's coming back to haunt them at this point in the game.
They're 3 of 7 here in the second half. Now Josh Laver, who I just mentioned with the 4 fouls, is coming back in, and Kyle Greathouse will sit down.
And he gave him real good quality minutes, too. This is the guard of the future, no doubt about that, for Lancaster.
Turner's second shot is no good. The McKnight brothers fight for it, and they can't get it, so the Wildcats will keep the basketball.
It's one of those situations where you don't look around, you just go for the rebound, and they were the only 2 going for it. Tough break for the Gales. Have to suck it up. 2:55 to go, even game. This is probably the best we could have hoped for after 1 quarter.
Well, they wanted a foul there as Shaner tried to get through the pick, and Wachter kind of held him up a little bit. Now Rager in trouble, but is able to dish it off.
They're trying to get that curl pattern again to Black or Ash.
Rager behind the back, puts up the shot, and he hits it.
Gales playing a little tentative a bit on defense, not wanting to commit that foul.
7 points for Rager. 40-38. Wildcats by 2. Chad McKnight, Beatty inside to Phil. Phil puts up the shot. It's good. We're all tied again.
Nice look inside to McKnight.
7 points for Phil McKnight. We're tied at 40 with 2 minutes to play. Rager, Black, here he comes again. Puts up the shot. It is no good. And the ball fought for it is picked up by Phil McKnight on the backside.
Gales can take the lead for the first time since early in the game.
Laver with the basketball. The Gales whip it around. Phil McKnight will take the shot. He hits it. Let's see. I think Jack may have called timeout.
There was a whistle before that shot went off.
He did call a timeout. and it's a full one. So we'll take a timeout ourselves. 1:26 to play. 40-40 is the score.
The community bank may be the new bank in town, but we aren't new to banking. Established in 1945 in Athens County, the community bank has relocated its main office and opened a full-service branch in Lancaster. For more than 20 years, Tom Buck has helped area residents and businesses with financial needs. Jason Harrell and Ida Neely also have local banking experience. They're anxious to introduce you to some of the best customer service and interest rates in town. We've earned your confidence and appreciate your trust. Come grow with us.
Back here at Newark High School, where the Golden Gales and the Wildcats are tied up at 40. The Gales have the basketball. We've got 1:26 to play. Now, if you just happen to leave the room for about the last 45 minutes, when the Gales were trailing at one point 30-13, well, guess what? We've had a pretty good second half here.
The last run has been in this quarter. They've outscored Newark 12-7 to, again, pull within a tie.
Well, the Wildcats staying in that zone, and the Gales are content. They may stick it out for the final shot.
You know, the first game was 42-40. That was the score in the first game, so we're on the verge of having that kind of finish here tonight. And we certainly look at the possibility of OT. Newark not coming out yet. We'll see if Quackenbush leaves them stay back.
Centrell Turner definitely.
Well, they're working McKnight over in the lane there. Boy, they are working him over.
32 seconds.
Now Jack's trying to get the play going. 30 seconds. It's going to be Lancaster's game to win right here. Now the crowd is on their feet. This is it.
20 seconds to play.
Jack calls another timeout.
And the Gales call another timeout. With 18.7 seconds, it's a full timeout, so we'll take a 30-second timeout ourselves, get ourselves geared up. The score, 40-40. Back with more after this.
Steve Messerly and Advest will help you achieve your financial goals. Steve's philosophy is simple. Care about your clients, work with them honestly and with integrity, and deliver a high level of service. As a former assistant treasurer of investments for The Ohio State University, Steve will put his investment knowledge to work for you. He can help you save money for retirement, fund your children's education, or decrease your tax liability. Let Steve Messerly be your investment manager. Call him today at 653-5757.
Back here at Newark High School, there you see the score, 40-40 with 18.7 seconds left to play. And it may sound kind of contrite, but that .7 can be a very big part of a ball game. The Gales, I'm sure, are going to take it down to the very last possible second. You do not want to leave the Wildcats any time at all to shoot the basketball.
Well, this is exactly the kind of finish we thought would happen here, but after a quarter, we never thought we'd be here.
40-40, 13, 12, 11, 10. Chad McKnight, Laver, Beatty will take the three. It's no good. It's an air ball. And then a timeout with 3.4 seconds called by the Wildcats.
I'm not sure that ball might have been tipped, but regardless of that, it didn't go. Now, it's not like the NBA where they'll get it out at the half-court line right now. They'll have to go the full length of the court, and what you don't want now is a foul.
There you see the story. We'll take a 30-second timeout and be back with the final moments of this ball game right after this.
Satisfied customers have been relying on Heston's Auto Service and used cars since 1943. Come on by and meet Jim and Shirley Heston and find the highest quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and vans.
And don't forget the other side of Heston's, quality auto care. During these winter months, allow Heston's to keep your car on the road. That's Heston's Auto Service and Used Cars, 603 Lincoln Avenue, Lancaster.
drummers here for Newark High School trying to get their team fired up. There's 3.4 seconds left to play. We're tied at 40.
The second half has belonged to the Gales, and can they hang on for these final 3.4 to send it to OT?
Watch for Ash or Black.
You would think that's who they'd go to now. This is just like the football game finish.
It's a full court pass, tipped away. It's picked up by Williams. A shot no good, and we're going to go to overtime.
Great job by the Gales defense. They gave up the pass, but not the shot.
Well, if you want a great finish for a regular season finale, this is it. 40-40. We've got a 4-minute overtime coming up, but first we're going to take this timeout.
In soccer, as in all team sports, it takes a lot of people to contribute to a winning effort. When it comes to fighting the complications of diabetes, the same kind of effort is needed. That's why we're asking for your support. You can help sink diabetes for good when you participate in this year's Swim for Diabetes.
United Healthcare Swim for Diabetes is Sunday, March 5th at 42 area pools. To register, call 800-422-SWIM.
One small ripple creates a tidal wave of support.
Each year, Americans generate over 700 million gallons of waste motor oils, and almost half of this oil is improperly disposed. Hi, I'm County Commissioner Alan Reed. The improper disposal of used oil hurts us two ways: by harming our drinking water supply and by wasting a valuable, non-renewable energy source. If you are a do-it-yourselfer, take your waste oil to an oil recycling station in your area. With your help, we can all keep Ohio and Fairfield County clean and safe.
Back for overtime, and in a bit of a surprising move, Chad McKnight sits down to start the overtime. Kyle Greathouse is in the ball game for the Golden Gales. It's a jump ball situation, and it's controlled by the Gales.
Gales outscored Newark 29-16 in the second half to climb back into it.
Kyle Greathouse, Jimmy Shaner, Phil McKnight, Justin Riggins, Brad Beatty. That's the five on the floor right now for the Golden Gales. Gales. Here's a pass inside to Riggins, and he is fouled.
Nice pass from McKnight to set up Riggins, what would be an easy lay-in.
That goes against Wachter, his second. Are they going to say Riggins was shooting? I think so.
56% free throw shooter for the year.
Riggins with a point in the ball game. That was a free throw back in the second quarter. That first one's good, and that's the first lead by the Golden Gales since it was 1-0.
Looking at Justin's father up there, very intently looking out there now.
And he nails both of them. The Gales lead it by 2, 42-40.
Jack's pack hasn't sat down, I don't think, the entire game, but certainly not in the second half.
Rager, Williams, Ash, Black, and Wachter on the floor for the Wildcats. Rager's open. His shot is no good. The ball tipped around, and it's controlled by Williams. Dumps it down to Wachter. He couldn't hold on to it, but Black right there to pick it up and put it in.
Again, ball bouncing right Newark's way that time.
Tied at 42, 2:50 of time. Here's Phil McKnight with the shot, no good, and then we're going to get a foul on Black as Riggins had the position. Third foul for Black. Chad McKnight and Josh Laver sitting down, getting ready to check into this ball game.
Riggins has been a real player here in the overtime.
Now Chad McKnight will be coming in for Riggins. Kyle Greathouse sits down, so with a chance right now to put his team up. First shot is no good, and it rolls around a couple of times. But it's picked up finally by the Wildcats. 2 minutes, 33 seconds to play in the overtime. Wachter gives it to Black. Black tries to spin, gives it to Ash.
No doubt about it. It'll be the Black and Ash show here in overtime.
Black drives, stops, pops it, no good, too hard. That's going to say off for the Wildcats, so the Gales will get it.
Jeff Quackenbush not a bit pleased with how that call went. Thought it should have been reversed.
I've never seen a coach really be happy about a call that goes against him. 2:05 to play in overtime.
Well, every point, every possession is critical now.
We're tied at 42. And Black fouls Chad McKnight. And that is his 4th foul. Chad's going to go to the line to shoot 1-1.
Gales have got to hit their free throws down the stretch here. McKnight at 63% for the year. So the kind of numbers now you're talking about you'd like to have at the line. They needed certainly the first end of the 1-and-1.
Chad McKnight with 15 points all in the second half, and he makes the first one. Make that 16. Second shot is no good, but Shaner trucked out of his hands.
Jack wants a call there. Again, not going to happen.
The Gales by a point, 43-42 with 1:45 to play in overtime.
I don't think anybody will settle for 3-point.
And Black is called for the offensive foul, and that's his 5th.
Quackenbush is beside himself.
Black will sit down with 17 points on the night. No matter whatever Quackenbush does, it's not going to make the official change his mind, and now they do change their mind. Centrell Turner will check in, as initially he had sent up Quincy Jackson. So the Gales with a 1-point lead. They have the basketball, and there's 1:40 left in overtime.
If they could get this lead to 3, it'd be huge. Again, nothing going outside. Everybody's looking inside to get a low post, get something happening in the paint.
Josh Laver with the basketball, far out on the point.
Gales happy to just kind of reverse the ball, move it around, and they'll settle for one shot right here. Obviously, they're in control.
1:05 to play in overtime.
See how long it is before Newark will, well, there it was.
Well, we didn't have to wait long for your answer, did we, Paul? With 1:02 left in overtime, Anthony Ash picks up the foul, his first.
And they fouled Josh Laver. Laver's the top free throw shooter on the team, hitting over 88%.
Josh yet to score in the ball game.
This would be the time.
This
if I was going to wait to score 2 points, this is where you want it. He makes these, it's huge.
First shot is good.
Nothing but the bottom of the net. Thank you very much.
Gales up by 2, 44-42.
Equals their biggest lead of the game.
That's right.
Unbelievable. They can climb out of this hole to be in this position. What a great game, no matter what happens. What a great game for Lancaster.
Second shot in and out, no good. So the Gales
Minute to go.
Had that 2-point lead, as Paul said, now under a minute, 44-42.
You think Lancaster or Newark plays for the 3-pointer, or do they go for the tie?
Ash picked up his dribble and then had to have Wachter saving.
I think they'll look for 2 right here.
Ash, he wants the 3. And he's off the mark, no good. Wachter on the rebound, and then Chad McKnight made him change it up. And then we can't get the backside by Williams, but if the foul goes against Chad McKnight, that's number 5 for him.
And it will, I believe.
And it is. Chad ends his ball game with 16 points, all in the second half. So let's see who Coach Greathouse goes to. He's going to go to his son, Kyle. So Kyle will come in. Chad McKnight sits down with a great ball game, especially in the second half.
Wraps up a good season for Chad as we move into tournament play next week.
Right now, it's Chase Williams. First shot is no good.
Blocks out. Now's the thing you've got to get. Now they're sending their rebounders. They're going to have to get this rebound. They're going to have to go after the ball now.
And Justin Riggins checks in the ball game. He's coming in for Jimmy Shaner.
And Lancaster gets in their big bodies. McKnight and Riggins, they've got to have the wide bodies underneath.
Come on, 35.7 seconds left to play in overtime. That shot is good.
Pressure now by Newark. How will Lancaster handle it?
Justin Riggins to Kyle Greathouse to Beatty. Beatty almost walked, and then he is fouled by Ash with 30 seconds left. Second foul for Ash.
Lancaster trying to put the ball on the hands of the people that can shoot the free throws, and they've done a good job. Beatty goes to the line shooting 70% this year.
He's 5 of 7 in this ball game from the line.
None bigger than these right here. Certainly the first one to at least get it to a 2-point margin.
First shot is good. You can almost feel the nerves from the Beatty clan behind us.
Oh, man. I'm sweating. I'm not even shooting. This would be the biggest lead of the game for Lancaster if he makes this and force them, I think, to go. Well, they wouldn't have to go for 3, but they're going to have to get a quick 2.
Second shot looks good, and it is.
Wow. There was that favorable roll, finally.
46-43 with 27 seconds. Ash now is in trouble. Gets it to Williams. Williams dishes over. Rager will take the 3. It's no good. Jackson on the rebound to Ash for 3. It's no good. Rebound back out to Rager for 3. It's no good. And Phil McKnight on the rebound for the Golden Gales. 3 attempts by the Wildcats at a 3. And 3 times they cannot hit it.
And 2 times those balls were in and out. Boy, that is a rough break for Newark right there.
Phil McKnight can seal this one with just 1.
I didn't think much could top the football victory here this year, but this is something. This is something special tonight.
If Phil can make just 1 here, it's a 4-point game.
It'll be over if he can make 1.
With 6.8 seconds left in overtime.
Seal the deal right here.
And the first one is good.
Timeout.
8 points for Phil McKnight. We've got a timeout. 47-43, the Gales lead. It's a full timeout. We'll be back with the final moments of this ball game right after we take this timeout.
Steve Messerly and Advest will help you achieve your financial goals. Steve's philosophy is simple. Care about your clients, work with them honestly and with integrity, and deliver a high level of service. As a former assistant treasurer of investments for The Ohio State University, Steve will put his investment knowledge to work for you. He can help you save money for retirement, fund your children's education, or decrease your tax liability. Let Steve Messerly be your investment manager. Call him today at 653-5757.
There you see the score, 47-43. The Gales lead by 4. Phil McKnight has hit the line to try the back end of his 2 shots. If he makes this one, you can almost seal the deal.
Well, it was Jack's pack was at its best down there. When we were gone in the timeout, we could hear the chant. It took a while to figure it out. It was just like football, just like football. My goodness, this Lancaster-Newark rivalry is just something special.
Phil McKnight steps up the line. He's already hit the big one. It's made it a 4-point lead. This one right here would basically seal it, because if Newark were to get a three-pointer and get fouled, that's the only way they could get 4, and he does. He makes both of them. Ash passes down to Rager, and it's through his hands out of bounds, and the Gales will get the ball with 2.1 seconds. Kyle Greathouse will check back in. Reagan's out.
This has been a real team effort. Every person out there has contributed for the Gales. Everybody has done the job that Jack's put them in to do, especially in the second half.
What a comeback. Phil takes the inbounds pass, and the Golden Gales have won this ball game by the score 48-43 in overtime.
Wow. Wow.
We'll be back with a look at tonight's Tiki Bowling Lane's player of the ball game, and we'll wrap this thing up right after this. Back at Newark High School, where in overtime the Golden Gales have beaten the Wildcats 48-43. Our Tiki Bowling Lane's player of the ball game is Chad McKnight. He ends up with 16 points, all in the second half, as he led the resurgent Gales to a victory here in a come-from-behind fashion over the Wildcats. Chad McKnight, our Tiki Bowling Lane's player of the ball game. And Paul, just like we said, you would have asked us at the beginning of the second half if this is how it would have ended, we would have said you were nuts.
Well, you go into a halftime at down 24-11, and they came out and just absolutely took control offensively. They did a great job, and then I think Newark hurt themselves by going into that kind of a motion stall kind of offense in the second half. The Gales outscored Newark 37-19 in the second half to pull this one out. One of the, just like football, one of the great victories for Lancaster basketball.
Once again, the player of the game is Chad McKnight. We'd like to thank again the Adelphia Cablevision people for giving us our video feed for tonight's ball game. Again, the final score, the Golden Gales 48, Newark 43. Thanks for watching, everybody.
The Interphase Video Productions Basketball Game of the Week is brought to you by Tiberio's Ristorante, The World Gym, Heston's Auto Service and Used Cars, The Community Bank, Advest, the Notestone CPA firm, and Tiki Lane.